So as previously mentioned, I'm completely failing absolutely at the whole monthly media thing, but I still want to share the things I've been watching, yada yada yada. I basically think that my opinions are more relevant than they actually are, and I like hearing the sound of my own voice, even though that's a lie, because editing is hell. Alas, my coffee's gone cold from all the filming, but it's fine, it's good. We love iced coffee in this house. So, these are the shows that I've been watching in the past 2 months. Jessica Jones Season 2 came out in March, and I binge watched all of it the day it came out because I really fucking love Jessica Jones. Controversial, but I think I liked Season 2 as much as I liked Season 1. It was very different, hella in vibes and themes and stuff. And I know a lot of people hated it, mostly because of Trish and some other character. But I really liked it. I thought it was well directed. All women directors, I am impressed. I thought it was well written. I thought it had some really interesting themes, and I love how it dealt with them. And I thought it took everything I was expecting and kind of flipped it upside down. I thought it was just really captivating. I really felt like it always ended on cliffhangers, and I really wanted more. And I love its depiction of unlikable women and, you know, Slytherin ladies who give no fucks, I guess, maybe, possibly. It's just, it's true that Trish, for one, is really pushing that unlikable boundary this season. But it's still really captivating to see that journey and that transformation. And if you've seen the finale of Season 2, then you know what's to come, probably. Hopefully. If you're familiar with comics, or you know, I don't want to say anything, but I'm super excited to see what happens in Season 3, even though for Trish's arc, at least, Season 2 wasn't my favorite. It was a lot to take in, and yeah, I don't know, it's just, I really love Jessica Jones, and I love how it plays with that whole anti-hero trope, and I love how it shows that emotional development and growth with Jessica. I don't know, it's just a really, really good show. I then watched, as suggested by someone from work, Nailed It from Netflix, and that's kind of the younger, less experienced sister of the Great British Bake Off, but like on really powerful drugs, I guess. It's presented by Nicole Byer, whom I've loved for years because she was on Girl Code on MTV way back when. And she's just so funny. She's so funny. Like, her presence just captures you. She's hilarious. And the concept of the show itself is kind of funny as well. They're basically trying to recreate these amazing show-stopping baked goods, except they're all terrible bakers. So it doesn't quite go as planned. It's really funny. And speaking of funny, I guess these months have just gone against everything I stand for as a human being and watch really funny stuff. So I binge watched The Good Place. I hadn't seen any spoilers. It seemed good, and I was like, well, I guess I need something more light after Jessica Jones and life. So I love The Good Place so much. It's one of my favorite shows of the year thus far, and possibly of all time. So it basically follows your girl Eleanor, who dies, and she gets to the other side, and she gets put into a good place, right? And it's all good and fun, and she gets shown around, gets her home. It's all a little quirky and over the top. And then you find out she's not the Eleanor they were looking for. She's meant to be in the bad place, but she doesn't want to go, so she's kind of hiding in plain sight, and it's just so ridiculous, and it's so funny, and I love the characters, and I love the cast, and it's so funny, and that's all I have to say about that show. It blew me away. I usually see twists and turns coming, but this show kept just surprising me a lot. It was so good. Also, it's very memeable. The amount of GIFs that I use as a reaction from this show is just, whew. And then the sister and I have started this NBC show called Rise. purely because it has Ali Carvalho from Moana in it, and I love her, and I would die for her, and so I really wanted to watch the show for her. And it's kind of like Glee's older, more emo sister, except it's not quite like Glee, it's more of a drama rather than a comedy. I don't know, it's really dark. It deals with a lot of stuff like, you know, teen pregnancy, alcoholism, yada yada. It's a lot, it's a lot. My favorite character is Ollie's character, because of course it is. And it stars Ted Mosby from How I Met Your Mother. He's this failed teacher who has this midlife crisis, and he's like, you know what, I want to revolutionize the school theater world. And I'm like, okay. So what does he do? He wakes up, he decides he wants to pursue that, and so he steals the job from this woman of color that had been giving it her all, because he thinks he's the shit and he can do anything better, and he's so self-centered and full of himself and just over the top and ridiculous, and he's not realistic in the slightest. He doesn't realize he doesn't have the money. He's just, oh, he's in his very own world. And what does he decide the kids should do instead of like boring ass Grease? They were doing a fucking Spring Awakening, which is it literally has a song called The Bitch of Living, and American schools don't let kids show shoulders as far as I'm concerned. I don't know why it seemed realistic in the slightest that they would let them do Spring Awakening as a musical, but okay, so it's really emo and whatnot, but my sister and I really like it, and Ollie is doing such a good job. My daughter, I love her, so I kept watching for her. The show is cancelled already, surprise, surprise, but it's not bad. I binge watched Queer Eye again, as suggested by someone from work, and it's just the best thing ever. It's not the original, it's the recent remake, and I love all of them, and it's just perfect. It's basically a show about these 5 gay guys around Atlanta, Georgia, going around to people whose lives are in like a rut and fixing their lives, and it's so good. I love the whole. That's it. It's the ultimate feel-good show. And then, speaking of feel-good shows, I and the sister watched Brooklyn Nine-Nine, which is so good. I binge-watched all of it. By now, I finished it the day they announced it was cancelled. Then it got picked up, so it's good. It's all good. So it's basically this comedy. I know, who am I? About some cops in Brooklyn, which sounds not the best, but it's so diverse. And the first half of season 1, I had my doubts, because I thought the main dude, white, cis, possibly straight, so full of himself, always going above people of color. But it gets so good. It keeps getting better and better by the season. It's super diverse. It's super heartfelt. The character interactions are just so good. All the characters are super well shaped and just phenomenal. And it's a comedy, but it's not at anyone's expense. It's so sweet and heartfelt, and it doesn't play, you know, black jokes or gay jokes, or there's a whole episode in season 1 about fat jokes. But that's left in the past. It's really woke, and it's not perfect, because what is, but it's just so good, and it's such a feel-good show. So at all the friends who've been yelling at me to watch it for the longest time, here we are. I kept watching Drag Race, because season 10 started of the regular Drag Race. That's always fun. It's like America's Next Top Model for drag queens. You know, kept watching Rise. And the show Siren started, so it's basically about this mermaid coming to land, and its depiction of mermaids is super interesting. So they can't speak, they're super animalistic. It's really interesting and captivating. So you see her learn to speak, and I watched an interview with the actress that plays the siren / mermaid / whatever, and to prepare for the part, she studied videos of predator animals in nature and sort of tried to replicate their mannerisms, and it's just so compelling to watch her do it. It's really interesting, though at times it just makes me feel slightly uncomfortable, because the sexual tension between all of them, and like she's a child and an animal, possibly, kind of, sort of, and you're all, it's a lot to take in on that side, but overall I'm compelled, I'm intrigued, I'm curious to see how it ends, because I'm just making headcanons like, you're a mermaid, you're a mermaid, you're part mermaid, you're part mermaid, you're a mermaid, everyone's a mermaid. It's interesting. And then the originals came back, and I know that's quite pathetic of me to admit, but it's still one of my favorite shows. I was very into the Vampire Diaries way back when, and then after like season 3 or 4 it kept going downhill, but with the originals is just amazing. I love it because it's got that whole moral ambiguous thing going on for all the characters. Again, you have the whole anti-hero thing. The setting is very kind of opulent and decadent, and you know, you have this New Orleans inside of New Orleans and all the vampires and witches, and it's my aesthetic, and I really love it. And I love that it's built around, you know, family and legacy and all of that. Politics. I love anything fantasy, supernaturally, paranormally built around politics. I think it's great. I think it works. It's amazing. It's amazing. And I love the characters. So I think this is the last season. I'm super curious to see how it develops, but so far I'm loving it, gotta admit. That's what I've been watching since last time we have spoken. Please let me know if you've seen any of these things, or what your favorite show of the past couple of months has been. Also, let me know who your favorite Brooklyn Nine-Nine character is, because like, I'm super curious. And that is that. Thank you so much for watching.